Alright, here are all the parts I've got for this intake manifold gasket replacement on this 2001 Pontiac Aztek. Got me one of those oil change deals here for $17. This intake manifold gasket set from Felpro came with the valve cover gaskets and ran me $80, and got some hose clamps because you never know what you're going to cut, and some silicone because I'm going to silicone all the gaskets and make for a nice good seal on that intake manifold gasket so I don't have to redo it again. Here's a receipt from AutoZone. Let's see if I can focus in down here. $131 was the total for all the parts. So I guess it's not terrible, but the job itself is not going to be fun. Make a quick video of what it looks like underneath the hood here. I'm going to disconnect all these wiring connectors. Disconnect the throttle cable and several other things. Just see what I need to do whenever I get into it. Intake manifold gasket replacement for a 3,400 liter GM engine. Start by removing the battery down there and get to work. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect this wire loom here. We're getting the battery disconnected there. You only need to remove the power. Yeah, I'll leave the other one connected there. And then we'll start connecting all these, disconnecting all these fasteners here. Got that one disconnected. We'll disconnect this one here. Get back in here and we'll disconnect all this stuff, and then take this bracket out here. Got this here disconnected from that. Alright, the air box is off. Several of the connectors have been disconnected. Got the serpentine belt off over here. Main wiring harness connector disconnected. These bolts are all loosened up over here. Now we just got to go to the back and get the back ones. I'm going to disconnect the map sensor and the EGR back there. I know there's a bolt that I think connects underneath there that runs like a vent tube to it. So, alright. Okay, here we have the wiring harness that goes to several of the connectors, like the throttle positioning sensor, the EGR valve, the several of the throttle sensors and things like that. They can only be plugged into one certain area. Most of them are here. They're on the side. You'll see kind of like back down in here. Kind of dark back in there, but now I just got to remove this top bracket here, and I'll remove this line that goes for the PCV valve. Alright, moving along. Alright, I have this bracket removed here. As you can see, it's bolted on 3 different ways. There. And on top, it sits in there like this. There's another bracket down there at the bottom. And I have the complete wiring harness disconnected from the coil pack, the alternator, and the map sensor and everything. So there's the wiring harness. Now I just got a few more things I need to pull out of the way and start removing the upper intake plenum here. May mark some of these wires so I know which way they go back on. But still moving right along. Alright, so I guess I better make a quick clip of the parts I've taken off here. Map sensor, part of the evap, some vacuum lines and hoses, and back here I've got the coil pack removed and the sensors removed back there. I'm going to have to disconnect, I believe, the water lines that go through here and figure out what the heck I'm going to do about getting these stupid quick disconnects that are anything but quick and very rarely disconnect off. But this is the progress I've made so far. Alright, I got the upper intake off of here. I got to take off the lower intake now. Here are some of the parts I've already got disconnected. One of the hardest ones, obviously, was this water pipe connector. That was a pain in the ass to get off here. This is what it looks like underneath the engine. Bonnet. Alright. I think I'm going to have to remove the valve cover gasket. Loosen up the water thermometer gasket, and what else? Oh yeah, these fuel lines. Already had to remove the EGR valve from that bolt back there and kind of pried it loose. So it's moving along. Alright, here's where I am now. Man, what a chore that was, getting the power steering pump off there. Had to remove the windshield washer reservoir, the battery, and disconnect the line down there and the line up there and kind of just pry it loose there. There's the pump. There's 3 bolts that go through it, but as you can see, there's holes that you can disconnect from. They are 13mm bolts. All the bolts on this are typically 8, 10, 13, 15, and occasionally 18. The one that connected to the back of the power steering line here, however, was a 16. Kind of tripped me up there for a second, but I figured that out after it wouldn't fit. But alright, now had to do all that to expose this one bolt down there. Oh, nice placing, huh? And I think there's a few more I got to get underneath here too, like that one there. It's pretty grimy, dirty, but I have to remove the front mount there to get that off, and man, doesn't look like it's going to be any fun getting here to the back either. But guess I'll just have to see where I'm at here in a minute too. So making progress once again, but looks like this is a pretty labor-intensive job because I'm in it several hours. I mean, same day, several hours in. All right, this here is the bracket that or the hose that goes down here to the thermostat down that way. I've got the valve covers off, front and back. I've got the bracket that connects the alternator removed over here. Got to remove the idler arm bolt, 2 bolts that hold it on there, and then 1 bolt underneath the alternator itself. This here was pretty difficult to get out. I had to do the power steering. So I'm just now going to remove the bolts that hold on this upper intake, and should be ready to pull that off. So, man, it's been a job. I'll try and go over all the parts that I've had to pull off here, get an idea of where all the bolts go through. One here. This here doesn't have to necessarily be removed. That's the one that goes through for the alternator. And then another bolt that went down through here. There's the alternator, the power steering pump, windshield washer reservoir box. As you can see, I'm glad I caught this in time. It's got a lot of nasty caked on stuff in there, and we'll clean it all up. Engine still ran good, no knocking or anything like that. I just had to add fluid to it not long ago, so caught it in time before anything bad happened. Alright, here's where I am. You can see the sludgy nastiness underneath the intake manifold as I have it apart. It is all apart there. You can see the sludge in there. I can almost tell where the water was coming in, like down in this area down through here. I don't think there's any real fix. I mean, if you want a temporary fix, you may be able to get by with just tightening the bolts. Oh, got a fire going over there in the fireplace. Trying to shine some light on the situation there. Intake manifold gasket replacement on 3400. Trying to give you some perspective of what all you got to remove and everything that's involved. It is quite a job. This goes for pretty much any kind of 3400 liter engine that GM made. It also applies to like the 3100s. All the parts that go with it.
What do you think? Think it's warm in here? Yeah?
What'd you do to it?
Look, they put a fire. Aaron made a fire in there.
What'd you do to it?
We go out in the car.
We tore it apart. Look.
Take turns, one at a time. And then see we took this off.
Cora,
there.
Judy.
Look at all this stuff in there. See all that gunk? That's what we gotta get out of there. And these are some.
Alright, here's where I am now. I had to remove the rocker arms and loosen them up so I could pull out the push rods to slide the new gasket in. It goes in behind those push rods. I got to tighten these back on. I still got to put this side down. I had to clean up the mating surface there. I'm giving you an idea of what and where I'm at in the process right now. I'm obviously not showing everything and all those steps to take, you know. Some of the tricks you just got to tinker with just enough to know how to get it to work, and just kind of use a little common sense and it should come loose, whatever you're working on. But here's where I am now. We're going to start getting this thing back together. I've got it all cleaned up. I have got to put this gasket here on. Okay. Alright, so putting it back together. Here's where I am now as far as putting it back together. Got the valve covers put back on there. Started to put the power steering pump back on. Put the thermostat and the new rubber O-ring on there. Slid this back in place here. Still have to connect this after I put the upper intake on. Tightened all the rocker arm bolts back down to 50 pounds. Still have to put this line that connects from here to the very back on the engine.
A few extra parts. There's always a few extra parts left over after a job. Oh, those weren't important. Look, it runs.
Yeah. Don't mind that check engine seem like.
Yeah.
No, we'll have the thing back up and running in no time flat. Everything's getting hooked up pretty quickly. Still the same night. It's probably about a day job. Not fun, but as you can see, it's all going back together there pretty easily. Hook up a few vacuum lines, hook up a few connectors, and run all these power cords good and through there, and hook up just a few extra parts down there, and parts up that way. And to drain the oil, I'm going to just use some old oil that I got over there in the corner in here, and kind of flush it out, and then flush it out and drain the oil again, you know, since that's going to be some bad oil anyhow, and take the filler out and then fill it up with some good oil again. So alright, it's all back together. As you can see, it's running in here. Kind of give you an idea of how everything got taken out and put back together. I don't always explain everything perfectly. Some of it's just self-explanatory and easy to put back together. But all this stuff here has to be taken off. You got to remove the power steering pump, the alternator bracket, and all that. There's 3 bolts that hold that on. 4 bolts that hold that on there. Remove this motor mount to get that valve cover off there. Just a few little tricks and everything. It's not the worst job ever, and it took me You could probably do it in a night, but I got hung up on the heat riser for the Evapson system on the EGR back here. Everything checks out good, and double check, make sure I ain't got no bad looking oil. Yep, no milky looking oil, which is definitely good. And since it's Christmas, I just went and picked me up a Christmas tree. It's like I got green poop coming out the back of my green baby poop stained Aztek. Alright. If you have any questions, let me know. And I will do the best I can to get them answered and be as helpful as I can. I've got a few other videos on how to fix these 3400s. They're pretty common, came in a lot of vehicles, Ventures, Oldsmobiles, Pontiacs, you name it. They put a lot of these engines in a lot of different cars. So let me know if you got questions. Good luck on your project.